Could a four-time world champion really be on the brink of leaving the very team that forged his legacy in Formula One? That's the question echoing through the paddock right now. Max Verstappen's shocking P6 finish in Bahrain has jolted fans into wondering if something far more serious is unfolding. On paper, sixth place isn't a catastrophe, unless you're Max, whose name is practically synonymous with pole positions and dominant victories. Throughout the race, his exasperated radio messages painted a picture of deep frustration. Complaints about the brakes, expletives about tyre wear, and an unsettling sense that he's losing confidence in Red Bull all hint at turmoil beneath the surface. Is he fed up enough to contemplate leaving? It's a surprising twist for a man who seemed locked in for the long haul. Not long ago, Red Bull boasted about how well they'd regrouped after a rough winter, promising the RB21 would be a contender. But that promise has fallen apart under the reality of endless brake troubles, chronic overheating, and pit stop disasters that waste precious seconds. If you listen to the whispers going around, the actual cause might not be technical alone. People close to the team suggest a deeper conflict between Max and some of the key engineers, a clash over development priorities that's driving a wedge through the garage. As if that weren't enough, rumours about Max's contract have gained momentum. Supposedly, there's a clause allowing him to walk away if Red Bull underperforms to a certain degree. That's a ticking time bomb for a team that's already feeling the heat from rivals. Mercedes, once floundering, has begun a swift resurgence in 2025. If they continue this upward trajectory, all it might take is a phone call from Toto Wolff to steal away Red Bull's brightest star. And don't count out Aston Martin either. They've shown no hesitation in throwing money and resources at top talent to grab the spotlight. Suddenly, the once laughable idea of Max in a different team's colours doesn't seem so far-fetched. What's alarming is how openly Max has voiced his doubts. When asked if he considers himself a contender for the 2025 championship, he bluntly stated that he's just taking part. For a driver known for supreme self-confidence, this admission looks like a red flag. He's always been the type to extract performance nobody else could, even in flawed machinery. But now it seems he's hitting a wall. That leads many to wonder if this team-driver relationship, once so fruitful, may have run its course. Red Bull, for its part, has struggled to solve the RB21's many gremlins. Brake instability remains a constant headache, despite repeated attempts to tweak setups. In Bahrain, Max spent much of the race complaining that his car won't turn or won't slow down, a nightmare scenario for any driver, much less a four-time champion. Add to that the bizarrely slow pit stops, blamed on everything from faulty lights to jumpy mechanics. And you see a once slick operation tripping over its own feet. These public struggles only reinforce speculation about behind-the-scenes chaos. Senior engineers who helped build Red Bull's earlier successes have reportedly left for greener pastures, taking valuable expertise with them. Replacements haven't yet meshed with the famously intense environment. Management shake-ups could be creating a chain reaction, weakening the structure Max once thrived in. And if the rumoured contract clause is real, that puts enormous pressure on Red Bull to deliver results quickly. Each disappointing weekend makes it more likely that Max will choose to explore other offers. Of course, the rest of the paddock has noticed. They smell blood in the water. Mercedes, aiming to reclaim its dynastic dominance, would welcome Max in a heartbeat. Aston Martin keeps popping up in rumours too, thanks to the brand's aggressive push to become a real title threat. Even Ferrari isn't entirely off the table. Their roster of drivers is strong, but a champion of Max's calibre is always tempting. The idea of a bidding war for Verstappen's services sends ripples of excitement and fear through Formula One. If Max does jump ship, it might tilt the balance of power for years. But it's not all doom and gloom. Red Bull still has time to fix this. The season is nowhere near finished, and a few well-chosen upgrades could bring the RB21 closer to the front. Max could rediscover the spark if the car starts responding to his inputs, rather than fighting him at every corner. A couple of successful weekends might be enough to prove the team hasn't lost its edge. Still, the margin for error is razor thin, and any more fiascos like Bahrain will only darken Max's mood. Meanwhile, social media is ablaze with theories. Some fans claim sabotage from within. Others blame incompetent pit wall strategy, and a few even suggest Max is overreacting to normal engineering hiccups. But overshadowing all of that is the very real possibility that the driver and team who defined each other's success might be heading for a bitter split. For Red Bull, losing Max could be catastrophic. Morale would plummet, sponsors might lose faith, and the entire racing program could fall apart. Even more intriguing are the hints Max has dropped about the future. He's alluded to big changes needing to happen soon, or else we can't keep talking about a championship. Some see this as a blatant ultimatum. Fix the car, or I'm gone. Red Bull executives are reportedly divided over how to handle it. Helmut Marko, known for his tough love approach, seems eager to appease Max and keep him happy at all costs. Others worry that catering too heavily to one driver could harm the team's broader stability. In all this drama, the real question stands: is this just a lull in performance for a team that's proven itself time and again, or is it the start of a seismic shift in Formula One's landscape? If Red Bull can't address its issues fast enough, we might witness one of the most sensational moves in recent F1 history. Max Verstappen leaving his longtime home for a rival determined to knock Red Bull off its pedestal. Imagine the shockwaves that would send through the sport. Then again, if Red Bull regains its stride, this entire episode might become just a tense chapter in the ongoing saga of one of Formula One's greatest partnerships. A mid-season surge has happened before. A couple of inspired design tweaks, or a perfect pit strategy could silence the critics. Nobody wins 4 world titles without resilience. And Max might regain hope if he sees genuine progress. But with each race slipping by and the competition getting stronger, he has little patience left for repeated failures. In the end, the next few Grands Prix will be pivotal. Another round of brake failures, slow stops, and lackluster pace. And we might see Max's exit become more than just whispered rumours. Conversely, a surprise podium or two could bring back the camaraderie that defined Red Bull's golden years. That's the razor's edge where this story sits. A single bad weekend might tip Max over the line, while one stunning victory could restore the faith that's been eroding. So where do you stand? Is Max overreacting to a temporary dip in performance, or is Red Bull truly in a downward spiral they can't escape? One thing is for certain, the stakes are sky high for both driver and team. In a championship as competitive as Formula One, a misstep can snowball quickly. And if Max Verstappen does decide to walk, the entire grid will scramble to seize a once-in-a-generation talent, potentially igniting a chain reaction that changes the face of the sport. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments if you believe Max will stay loyal or if he's already planning his next move. Remember, in Formula One, twists and turns often happen off the track as much as on it, and this story might just be getting started. Buckle up for the next Grand Prix, because if you think this is dramatic, wait until you see what the rest of the season has in store.